I'm just out for a quick morning walk with the boys. Beautiful bit of forestry. Autumn colours are coming. Look at that tree, it's beautiful. What a stunning example. I love looking at trees. I don't know what it is about them. They're just so impressive when they're massive like that. Just makes you feel so small and realise how unimportant we are. And if it wasn't for tools and machinery, we would never be able to take one of them down. You know? We've kind of found ways to manipulate nature and control it through creating tools and other things to actually, like machinery. That's what I meant by other things, in case you wondered. But I just wanted to say I wanted to send a bit of love out to the world. I'm out just going for a little walk with the boys. There they are. We could sniff around. I would let them off, but I got to go to work in about 2 hours, working till 8 o'clock. So I thought I'd better take them for a walk this morning before I start work. And I just wanted to, give you a bit of love and just tell you how I'm coping in this difficult time with all of the lockdown and COVID and all of that time. I've not really said much about it because everybody's talking about it, and I've kind of been thinking to myself, what's the point in focusing on it? But then I thought also it's a bit selfish, because if I'm coping with it all right and other people are really struggling, let's pass on, how I've been getting on with it. And it is difficult, but I've been really lucky because I've kept myself kind of busy. I've been working on my van, and I'm working in a place called Wicks at the moment, and in there's loads of people coming in for paint and decorating material and loads of other stuff, and they're doing the same by the looks of it. So a little tip: just try and give yourself a bit of a project or something you can pile yourself into, and then give yourself some time also to sit and realize we never get time to stop. We never get time. We're always complaining we're too busy. We're always complaining our jobs, and we don't have enough time to spend with everybody and our family and in the house that we built. And then when we're not working, all you're doing is worrying about working and being in debt. I've been quite fortunate. I've got a job where I'm working the best part of 30 hours a week. It's not full time, but it's enough to be able to give me enough money to survive, because my overheads are really low because I stay in my van outside my dad's house, so I don't pay rent. I am going to start helping my brother with the bills. I've been asking him how much he pays for the electric bill, and I'm going to be helping him to pay that because I do use a bit of electric. But that's it. That's my only overheads really, and paying insurance on the van and road tax, which that's something that is an overhead, but compared to paying £500 or £600 in rent, I'm paying a damn sight less than that, put it that way. So I've just I'm lucky my overheads are really low. But then this is a time for you to start thinking how you've been living and how all of us have been living really, because we tend to always live like if you're earning £3,000, you tend to be living to £2,500 of that and living on £500 a month. And you buy the expensive car, and you buy the bigger house, and you buy the latest TV, and why? Why? There's a great saying by a rich guy. He says, you're only as rich as long as you can't work. And he says, if you can afford not to work a week, you're not very rich. If you can afford to work not afford to work for, like, if you can stay off work for a month, you're pretty wealthy. But if you can afford to stay off work 3 months, then you're wealthier than 90% of the people out there. Think about that. 90%, I would say even maybe 95% of the people out there can only afford to not work for 3 months because they haven't got the overheads. So maybe this is a time for us as humanity to learn to start living within our means and stop buying everything all the time. Stop buying into this system of fashionable houses and the latest designer clothes and fashionable cars and fashionable shoes. And I was a part of that industry. I was a hairdresser for years, and people are constantly chasing fashion because they think it makes them happy. Now, I'm all for the therapy of having a nice haircut and feeling better about yourself, but it's temporary, and next month you're back to the same, and it's a trap. It's a constant trap. The whole thing is a trap. And in fashion, like, I remember when I was a kid, you buy a pair of jeans and they last you a couple of years, and yeah, fashion did come in and go in and go out. But for the majority, for me, I was into rock music, so a pair of ripped up jeans was a pair of ripped up jeans. And when I got into rave, it wasn't about the way you looked. It was about dancing and having a great time, and spending time with your friends and having the best parties ever. And then it went into clubs, and then people started going to clubbing because they wanted to look a certain way, and they started to lose its original zest. To me, clubbing was a beautiful thing at the beginning because it still maintained a part of the rave about it. You went in a pair of really comfortable shoes you could dance in, and then it started to become like, let's make it glamorous, let's make it this, and I get it. People wanted to add on because it had to morph, it had to change a bit, but I just think it lost some of what it was about, the freedom of just going and getting sweaty and having a great dance for the night. And the girls were the same as well. The girls that all went to it weren't there to look pretty. They were there to, they put a pair of jeans on, or a pair of shorts, and just dance like maniacs. We just let loose. We didn't care what people thought of us, because guess what? There were no cameras, there were no mobile phones, and nobody recording you. So I think that we have to think now in this time, what do we really want our society as? It has to be rebuilt, because this society is going to have to be rebuilt. What do we want it to be rebuilt as? Are we going to try and buy back into the way it was before and fall into the same trap? The same trap that the government and everybody has fallen into as well, the world of business and commerce and fashion, and you constantly have to buy to support a system which can't support itself. This system has to end sometime. It has to be more sustainable. We need cars that we can just, rather than completely changing the car all the time, why can't we have somebody create just a frame, and then with that frame, they just bolt on a few new parts and bolt on a different engine for you, and you just go in and pay for the latest upgrade of the body parts and the engine, more like a Meccano set. Why don't we have stuff like that, which would be more sustainable? And there's no such thing as a green car. Like, do you know what I mean? I think, who was it that just invented? I think VW just said they got a zero output car. First one I've seen, right? All in this idea of a green car. Do you know how much it costs to create one of these cars? You got to melt the metal down. You got to do this. You got to do that. All of the things you need to do, right, to create that car creates carbon, right? So that car only becomes carbon free after it's been around for, say, 10 years. And the most green car out there, even though it's still producing carbon when it's running, is something like an old Land Rover or my van, which is now a 1997 van, because creating the metal in that van and everything else is now gone, or that carbon footprint is gone. So if you work that out, the greenest vehicles are the oldest vehicles. So if we can recreate old vehicles with modern electric systems in them, and if people started doing that, that would make more sense than us constantly buying new cars. Things have to change. We have to update our old cars, and we have to be able to do that more freely. See, what we got to realize, if they really cared about the world and the planet, they wouldn't be telling us to buy all the newest, latest, greenest cars. It's all about making money from a cause. If they truly cared, they'd be saying, you can bring your old car in, if it's one of these cars that we made within the last 10, 15 years, and we'll be able to update it with a full electrical or hybrid system, which will cost you a quarter of what it would cost you to buy a new one, and it then becomes a green car. Doesn't that make more sense? But no, it's all about buying the newest and the latest, because it's, again, buying into that system. And if we get trapped into this and we don't tell the manufacturers what we want, Our planet's going to be ruined. Our economy's already almost gone. And because it was based on what? Can you imagine all of the years of the economy being built, and it's taken less than a year to bring it to its knees? A virus has destroyed the economy. That's how temperamental it is. That's how delicate the whole system we're in is. And that proves that we have to change the way we're living and change this system. And we've got an opportunity to do it now. If you've seen the film Thrive, watch it. If you haven't, if you have, you'll know what I mean. It makes a lot of sense. We have to have more sustainability. We have to have a better way of contributing to society and having more independent societies all around the country, which we take care of our local area and our local people. And we actually have these pods where we can do that. It's crazy to think. It blows my mind that we haven't. This whole system, it's unsustainable for the masses we've got. We need to start taking responsibility for our area. So like say Bedwas would be a pod, and in Bedwas everybody would be responsible for paying into the taxes, and everything we have in the area would go into a fund, and everybody in our area votes on what we do with those taxes for our particular area. And then we contribute by lowering the costs, and everybody is responsible for that. And think of how much more pride we would have in what we got. It's just an idea, but I just don't think that this system we're in is working anymore. And the more I look at it, the more I think we're heading for disaster. But that's just my idea. I might be wrong, but I just don't think we're ever going to get back from this. I think we have to start thinking of alternative ways of living, and otherwise we're going to be in a lot of trouble. I might be wrong, and I really hope I am in one way, but I hope I'm not in another. It sounds sad, but I just don't think we can keep doing what we're doing and living the way we are. Anyway, that's me. And I think that's when you're going into COVID and we're doing this, we've got to be thinking about these things, and we've got to take responsibility for the state all of this is in. And that's what I've been thinking about. That's what I've been doing. And I've been thinking, what positive can come from this? What negative can come from this? Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's be intelligent about this. And it's scary, but it could also be a good thing. Because at the back end of this, we the people take the power back into our hands rather than corporations. Because this is crazy. We can't keep doing this. Anyway, sending some love from Wales. Good morning. Or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Hope this wasn't too heavy for you. But that's just the way I've been feeling about it. And that's what I've been doing to cope with this, is thinking through it all. Really, really thinking through it all, and clearing it and being realistic with it all. Anyway, speak to you soon. Look how beautiful all these leaves are. Wow. All the little leaves changing colour, and the ferns. Okay, bye bye for now.